Hey everybody, this is the weekly forecast commencing on Monday, November the 25th, 2024. This is a week of being cautious, slowing it down for two big reasons. On Monday, the 25th, communication Mercury is going retrograde once again to December the 15th. It's going to retrograde the entire time in the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is outgoing, it's optimistic, it jumps the gun, it's adventurous, but when it's retrograde, you may be having overinflated expectations. You may be needing to pull back. So that's one reason, especially with it retrograde, to be more cautious, slow things down. The other big reason is by late Saturday night Pacific time will be the new moon in Sagittarius. And as I mention every month, the week before the new moon is a winding down. It's a period, it's a week of closure, wrapping up, or sometimes just a waiting game until the new moon begins, and so opening up to new energy that's moving forwards. So you don't want to make important decisions the week before a new moon. But this week before the new moon, Mercury, decision-making Mercury is retrograde, so you really don't want to make important decisions. Mercury in retrograde, you've heard, expect the unexpected. It is a time they do not make promises, commitment, because you may not be able to honor it. Do not sign contracts because you're locked in legally, perhaps, and you don't have all the information. Also on Monday, the 25th, the moon is that sets the public tone, is going into Libra, harmonious, diplomatic, sociable Libra at 3:20 a.m. Pacific time, which it will be there for the next 2.5 days. And by mid-afternoon on the 25th Pacific time, the moon will be in harmony with the Sagittarius sun. So when the moon and the sun are in harmony, the energy flows more easily, relationships go better, and with that Mercury going retrograde, communications could get really intense, but the moon, sun, and the moon in Libra is bringing more harmony and peace. Before I continue with the rest of the week, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. Back to Tuesday, the 26th, the moon continues in harmonious, fair-minded Libra. Mid-afternoon, it's triggering two important planets, the two great benefics, Venus and Jupiter. And this is all happening mid-afternoon for an hour or two Pacific time. The moon will be in a trine, in harmony, the best harmony, with expansive Jupiter. The moon can be your emotional reactions with Jupiter, feeling more optimistic, more hopeful. It is in a hard angle to Venus, so you may, when it comes to relationships, you might be both desiring different things, but the moon trining the Jupiter is bringing more luck and protection, and smoothing out anything that's going off track. On Wednesday, the moon continues in Libra, but it's going to go void of course from 1:14 a.m. to 4:21 p.m. Pacific time. Every week, when I mention when the moon is void of course, it's a very unproductive time. And certainly with Mercury in retrograde, the last week before the new moon, and that moon void of course, this is a period for more reflecting, introspection, a holding pattern, reviewing everything, but don't expect much and don't act on anything new. At 4:21 p.m. Pacific time, the moon leaves the void Libra and goes into intense, passionate Scorpio. And at 0 degrees of Scorpio for the first hour or two, well, about 2 hours after 4:21 p.m., it's forming a square, this hard, challenging angle, to powerful transformational Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So that late afternoon Pacific time can certainly trigger a lot of emotional reactiveness, maybe revealing secrets. And for the first half of the day, Pacific time, the entire time the moon is void of course, the sun will be in harmony with ambitious, assertive Mars. Now, this is okay, even with Mercury retrograde, moon void of course, to have a lot of energy, Sun, Mars, to be wrapping up projects, bringing closure to what you've been working on. But don't start anything new of significance. Thursday, the 28th, the moon continues in passionate Scorpio. In the morning, 3 to 5 a.m. Pacific time, the moon will be squaring or in a difficult angle to impulsive, irritable Mars. Now, if you are on the Pacific coast, most of you will be sleeping, but with that moon Mars, your sleep might get disturbed. And for the rest of you who are already awakened, that couple of hours, 3 to 5 a.m., but Pacific time, could trigger a lot of emotional anxiousness, irritability, but that too shall pass. And anything that might have been triggering you, the moon by early evening, around 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific time, will be in harmony with grounding, stabilizing, practical Saturn. So some of you might have gotten upset or anxious earlier in the day, and then later in the day, you calm down and you feel more grounded. On Friday, the 29th, the moon continues in passionate Scorpio. Late morning Pacific time, it will be in harmony with pleasure-seeking Venus. This is very favorable creatively, romantically. That there could be more of this emotional attraction, attachments. Late in the afternoon, now the moon will be in opposition or confrontation to impulsive, unpredictable Uranus. This happens once a month. That could indicate some unexpected, that's Uranus, emotional upsets in personal relationships. With the moon, any of your family is the moon, any of your emotional attachments is the moon, and opposite Uranus. Now, it's not always this anxious, irritable, upsetting energy. It could be some unexpected surprises out of the blue. Late afternoon Pacific time. Now, on Saturday, November the 30th, the moon goes into Sagittarius at 3:54 a.m. and it will be the Pacific time, and will be there for the next couple of days. Later, by mid-afternoon, the moon in fiery Sag will be trining or in harmony with aggressive, assertive Mars. So you're going to be really feeling this motivation and impulse and drive to be active, go after your goals. Very good for sports and athletics with that moon Mars mid-afternoon. But 10:22 p.m. Pacific time, so for most of the world it's going into early Sunday, will be the new moon in Sag. The new moon every 4 weeks marks a new focus, a new priority. But this new moon is at 9 Sag, and it's going to be squaring or in tension with restricted Saturn at 12 Pisces. So there's going to be a lot of worrying going on, especially with communication. Mercury continues to retrograde to December the 15th. So it is a time, just slow it down, be more cautious. You are going to want to start to move in some new directions, but because of Mercury in retrograde, either, you can maybe do your homework, your due diligence, but don't really act on anything significant for a couple of more weeks. Or it's good to just do all this research, sleep on it and take your time. Because the positive side of the Saturn, the negative side is the blocks and the frustrations. The positive side is to just slow it down. On Sunday, December the 1st, the moon in optimistic, outgoing Sagittarius will be squaring or frustrated by Saturn, because it's all part of that new moon in Sag squaring Saturn. And then that square to Saturn will be strongest around 5, 6 to 7 a.m. Pacific time. So there's that feeling, emotional worries, isolation, wanting to be left alone. By early afternoon, that moon in Sag is now moving away from worrisome Saturn and is now interacting in opposition with outgoing expansive Jupiter. In fact, Jupiter is the planet associated with Sagittarius. So you could be feeling emotionally so much more upbeat and optimistic from earlier in the day when you might be more cautious, more worried. And with Moon Jupiter, now Mercury in retrograde, you wouldn't want to be, making important plans, educational plans, travel plans. That's all under the domain of Jupiter. But you could be just kind of scouting out the area where you want to go, what you want to plan. Just don't make any important decisions about it. And in late afternoon, the moon in Sag will be in harmony with Pluto. So that's a good time for profound conversations, doing a lot of soul searching, introspection. I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or to check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next week, be safe and well.